Mind reading present. 8 reasons why your first love was true love. Your first love is true love. Now that you've read that statement, do you agree? Well, let's think about it. As soon as you read that statement, you may be reminded of your first love, just as the memory of my first love resurfaced in my mind as soon as I wrote it. Actually, you can have many partners during your lifetime, but the partner you will never forget is always the first. This is the first time you understand all about love songs, romantic movies, and books about love. When you experience love for the first time, how can it not be true love? The feeling you felt for the first time was so strong that you never expected to feel such a way. When I'm with my first love, people older than me will tell me that I don't know what love is. But I'm sure the opposite is true. Surely you have the same problem when you have your first love. Now that I am older, I still believe that your first love is true love. Just because you don't spend the rest of your life with the person you love doesn't mean it's any less true than love that lasts forever. If you really think about it, your first love actually lasts forever too. The feelings you have for the first person you love never really go away. Of course, that doesn't mean you don't move on and feel a different true love later in life. However, you are never more sure that you will never love again than when you experience the excruciating pain of your first heartbreak. Often, your first love is followed by your first heartbreak because people usually don't spend the rest of their lives with the first person they love. Does that fact make your first love less real? I don't think so. And here's the reason why your first love is true love. Number 1. No obstacles. When you fall in love for the first time, you have a clean note. You haven't dated someone in a long enough time that it's important. You never hold back because of that lack of experience. When you love someone for the first time, you love them as much as you can, with all your heart and soul. Everything about your first love feels new and exciting, and that's how love should feel. Whether you've been together for 5 years or a year, you have no past experiences that would make you hold back, so you give of yourself completely and love without fear. Number 2. No fear. The thing about your first love is that you don't have the fear that you get after the first heartbreak. With first love usually comes your first heartbreak, and you'll never be the same again afterwards. You become afraid to fall in love with someone else, because you don't want to experience the same suffering again. After your first love, the pain is so intense that you almost wish it had never happened. However, it happens, and when it does, you don't know how painful heartbreak can be. Of course, you've read it, heard songs about it, and watched fictional characters experience it in movies, but you've never felt it. That little fact is the reason why you are not afraid to love when you first love. There's no reason to hold back when you don't know how hurt you will be after the relationship ends. Number 3. It never disappears altogether. Your first love is the love that stays with you long after it's over. You never really let go, even after you move on. Your first love is true love because it never disappears completely, and you remember it for life. That is, even if you are not in a relationship with the person you first fell in love with in a lifetime, that love can last that long. That's why even if you're happily married or with someone else, mentioning your first love will still hurt. This doesn't mean you want to get back together, or that you don't love your partner enough. It's just that, like true love, your first love lasts forever, at least in some ways, which makes it a reality. The mention of my first love didn't make me shed tears, but I will never be indifferent to that man, and I'm sure you can feel it. Your first love is true love, because it lasts forever, even if it's just a bittersweet memory. We all used to think that our first love would last forever when we experienced it, and we're actually not wrong in that regard. Number 4. Your first love is the purest love. Often, we don't feel the innocence and purity of our first love when we love again. When you fall in love for the first time, you have no suspicious intentions and do not have any expectations. You follow your heart and don't let your thoughts get in the way. The reason why your first love is true love is because it is the most honest and innocent love you have ever experienced. No manipulation or play, just honesty. You have no reason to lie to your first love because there is no jealousy, no one in the way, and no past to come back and haunt you. When I was with my first love, I didn't even expect that there would be things like exes and crushes that I would have to deal with in the future. Moreover, your first love is true love, because there is no intention or motive, it just happens. For all the other relationships we have, we are well aware of what outcome we want from the relationship. But when you love for the first time, you just love for no other reason than love itself, and no adult things ever exist. Welcome to be a part of it. Number 5. It's a time of mostly happy memories. There were not many quarrels when I first fell in love, at least not many serious quarrels. It is carefree love without adult responsibilities or problems that arise when you are in a relationship when you are an adult. There's no reason to be angry because there's almost no jealousy, there's almost nothing mature to deal with, and you spend all your time devoting yourself to fun and happy memories. You believe that your love is perfect the first time you experience it. There are no complications and no mistakes, and no expectations. You create memories that are impossible to forget thanks to that sense of perfection. Your partner can't do anything wrong because you think you're perfect. Number 6. You trust them completely. Your first love is true love, because you know you can trust him unconditionally. Anyway, you have no reason not to. You've never been hurt by love before, so you assume that the person would never do anything that hurt you if he loved you. The sad reality is that people who care deeply about each other always hurt each other. However, you don't realize that fact when you feel love for the first time. That's the only time in your life where you can enjoy without considering being hurt in a relationship. You are never lied to when experiencing first love, and you assume all love will be as honest and pure as your first love. All you really worry about is when you'll see it again, how to look good, or how to keep it for as long as you can. That's why your first love is true love. Number 7. Your first love is powerful and intense, and so is the first heartbreak. My first love was electrifying, out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, I realized that I cared about others in a way that I never understood was possible. Of course, we are aware of love from a very young age, but the first time we experience romantic love opens up a whole new world for us. There is a lot of excitement and possibility. When you're with your first love, you're more likely to go with the flow. You follow your heart and not your head. And that's why your first love is so powerful. You make yourself vulnerable to every possible emotion. Your first love is unlike anything you've ever experienced before, and that's what makes it powerful, intense, and real. The only thing stronger than your first love is your first heartbreak. Unfortunately, most of us will experience painful heartbreak during our lifetimes, but none is more horrific than the first. Your first love changes you, but your first heartbreak changes you too. You find this amazing feeling, the strongest feeling you've ever felt, and then you feel an even stronger feeling. Suddenly, you realize that everything you thought would stay the same forever could end in the blink of an eye. Number 8. It only happens once. The main reason why we always remember our first love is because it only happens once. You can feel true love, and then realize that love is not supposed to happen, but your first love will always be your first love. After such a strong love, nothing else feels the same anymore. But it's okay. Your first love is true love, but that doesn't mean you won't find true love again. Although your first love is true love, and your first love only happens once, it does not mean that true love can only happen once in a lifetime. When you first enter a serious relationship, you feel like nothing can change your mind about how you feel. You feel your love is eternal because it is the strongest emotion you have ever experienced. Your friends and family will tell you that it might happen, but you assume it's just a myth. You assume that they must have never felt the way you did, or they will understand how you know that this type of love lasts a lifetime. As I said before, you are not wrong, because your first love only happened once, and you really love that person, you will never forget it. However, there is a certain naivety in first love. It is true love in the heart, and arguably, that love lasts forever. But the true love you seek is the love that will truly last forever. What I'm talking about is a hard kind of love, where you have to sacrifice for each other and go through good and hard times together. Although the first love you have is true love, the best kind of true love is one in which you don't give up on each other. Don't forget your first love, and know that it's true, but maintain a love that will truly last you a lifetime. The person you love for the first time will always be stored in your memory, even in your heart. However, there was still a lot of room left in that heart for the true love of all of them. Although your first heartbreak teaches you that your loved one can hurt you more than anyone else and just walk away, someone won't. The best true love is when someone remains an important part of your life and a part of your heart forever. I know that you are never the same after your first love and the first heartbreak you experience, but change is part of life, and you will change again once you experience true love that does not end in heartbreak, but in eternity together. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends so we can keep making them. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and remember to click on the notification bell. Also, be sure to check out our other videos as well. Thanks for watching.